Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, it's Wednesday and it's the Ramble, and I'm Alex Bennett. We'll be here until midnight tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Steve Kravitz.
You was taking a nap there for a minute.
Oh, were you taking a nap?
Just dozing off.
Well, you're up. Were you up early today?
Yeah, I was up at 4:30
because you had to go to Lowe's to check people out.
That's right.
Now, is that the lowest job at Lowe's, or is that just in a medium position, being the checkout person? In other words, if you were looking for a much better job at Lowe's, I mean, beside president of the company,
right?
What job would you get? Would you want?
Well, first you go from cashier to head cashier.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, you go to an assistant manager position. And then from there, you go to a management position, and then eventually you become corporate.
Okay, so what you're saying is, if I get you correctly, is at Lowe's, being a cashier is the route to getting into management.
Right.
Whereas if you were a person on the floor selling stuff, that's not a route to management.
Yeah, it could be, depending on how well they do.
Yeah. So now, if you became, this is really technical questions that I want the answers to. If you became head cashier, what would be different in your job than what you're doing now?
If I was head cashier, I'd be doing returns.
You'd be doing returns?
Right. Head cashiers do returns and gift cards and all that kind of stuff. And we just, like I said, I'm just a cashier, folks. I'm just a cashier.
Yeah, so in other words, if somebody comes to you and says, I want to return this, you go, wait a minute, let me get my head cashier.
No, I send them over to customer service.
Oh, and that's where the head cashier is.
Right.
Now, is he the boss of all the cashiers, or is he just the head cashier, and that means he can take returns and stuff like that?
Well, there's more than one head cashier, and they also have different, like sometimes you have to use one cashier for X transaction, and other times you have to use another cashier for for a different transaction.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I didn't know all that. See, and you probably never did either.
Nor did I ever care.
And neither did you ever want to find out. But unfortunately, you do need to make a living.
Right.
And there are no big movies being done right now in your neighborhood.
No, there aren't. There aren't.
Now, you were talking about leaving and going back to California.
Right.
Is that still in the plans?
Yes, but right now, the person I share this house with, it's her house.
Yeah.
It's her house, and she's kind of like having trouble dealing with two people in the house.
Oh, she's having trouble.
So she wants me out by the end of June.
Oh, boy.
And I was hoping to be out by the end of August, because then I'd have enough money saved to move to Los Angeles.
Well, the difference between June and August is only 2 months. Could she see you that?
I'll ask her.
Yeah. I thought you got along great.
I thought I had what?
I thought you got along great.
We do get along great. It's just that, after you live alone for so many years, you get used to it. And then having another body around, especially because I don't do that much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not out of the house a lot.
Yeah. Okay. In other words, if you were out working an 8-hour day job,
that might be different.
And you weren't there that much, but you're there a lot.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, but it'd be nice if you could stay there till August, and then you have the money to move out to California.
Right.
So have you figured out what you're going to do for a place to live?
No, I mean, I'm going to post on Facebook, I need an apartment in the LA area.
Oh, okay. All right. Or ask some place with roommates.
I think I'm done with the roommate thing.
Yeah, but you know something? That would bring your rent down, though.
Right.
You know, like if somebody got an apartment that was a 3-bedroom and it was $5,000 a month, then you chop that down, you know. But if you want to get a studio apartment, let's say, you're still going to pay something like $3,000.
I hope not. I don't have that kind of money.
You know, I mean, I don't know what it is, but here in New York, we watch this thing every day. There's this guy, his name is Cash Jordan, and he gives people tours of apartments, and then how much they cost and what they've got, you know, and so on and so forth. And I'm looking at apartments, right? And people are paying in New York like $4,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment.
You got that right.
You know, and I compare that to my 3-bedroom, large living room, large dining room, large kitchen, a pantry, 2 bathrooms, 1.5 baths actually.
Okay.
Let me see what else. Well, it's 2,500 square feet, and then I say, wow, I'm paying $500 a month.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Well, you know, it costs us a lot of money to get it down to that price. It costs us about $175,000 total.
Right.
And the total price was that. And then, you know, if you chop that up into the months we were here, it comes to about $1,800 a month, which is still pretty reasonable.
Right.
You know.
In New York City, yes.
But now it's down to $500, and of course, I don't know what the landlords are going to pull next, because they can't love us being here. They're probably saying some Jewish prayer that we die. You know? Because that's you know, and I think that's part of their thinking, right? They can outlast us, which is true.
Right.
Marjorie and I could both easily be dead within 10 years. They could just wait.
Let's hope not.
They could wait that out, you know, because once we die, they've got the apartment. It's theirs. They simply redo the apartment and raise the rent to $7,000.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Especially with the market going the way it is now.
Because even if we were paying what the rent stabilized price was for this apartment, it's $2,225 a month. So, you know, they would probably be waiting for us to die anyway under rent stabilization.
Right.
But I plan to live a long time just to piss them off.
Huh.
You know, and I realize I'm getting a little weaker and not as strong as I was. And Marjorie and I are going to take a vacation. We got to take a vacation.
Oh, where are you going to go?
We don't know yet. We haven't taken a vacation since we went to China, and that was over 10 years ago. So
you're going to go to the Far East? You're going to go to
I don't
Europe?
know what we're going to do. We have a lot of money to spend on a vacation, okay? And we got to figure out what that's going to be. And I don't know. We may go several different places. We were talking about going on a river cruise in Europe. Because they kind of have these long boats that they have.
Right.
That then go cruising, right? So we went online and we looked at them. You know why I won't go on a cruise? It's not that it's a cruise. It's not that it's on water. It's whatever. It's all the amenities they tend to add. Like, oh, we have a theatrical group coming in this evening, and we have this dance group who's going to do some local dances for you. And, oh, hey, it's trivia time. I don't want any of that crap.
Right.
You know, I just float me down the river, let me read a book or watch some TV or sit on the deck and get some sun. That's what I want to do. I don't want your dancers. This one said that they have constant announcements of things that are on the shore you might want to take a look at. I don't want a constant narration of my trip.
Right.
So we've written off the longboats.
Right.
You know, we said, okay, that's it for that. My business manager is taking a villa in Italy. He says, if you decide to take your vacation, then come see us at the villa in Italy for a couple of days. So we went,
Right.
That might be nice, you know. But we just haven't decided where exactly it is we want to go. You know, I mean, if I had a little more ability to walk than I do now and do things like that, I always, for instance, when I was younger, always wanted to go to the Himalayas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to that part of the world. I felt that was fascinating, just fascinating. But there are all kinds of problems with that today for traveling. Where do you travel in the world today that there isn't some kind of horrible thing going on?
Right.
You know? So, I mean, hell, Ukraine would have been a nice place to visit at one time.
At one time.
Yeah, but not now.
I don't think there's flights going in and out of Ukraine.
I think what happens, here's what Biden did. He didn't fly in.
No.
He took a train.
Right.
And I guess the trains are not as much of a problem as planes, you know. So.
Yeah, what if he gets shot down?
Well, then Kamala Harris will be president. I don't know. Do you think the Russians would shoot down Air Force One?
I don't think so.
No, they don't want that kind of trouble. If they shot down Air Force One, there'd be a big mushroom cloud where Russia used to be.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And then, you know, but nevertheless, he took the train. You know, he wasn't. Right. I'm sure the Secret Service said, "We can protect you on a train. We can't protect you on a plane." You know. So.
Right.
So that was, that was one thing. But you know,
so now where do you think you're gonna go?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You know when?
You know, I've always wanted to go to Russia.
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea. You know, I've often, where else have I wanted to go? You know, what I'm thinking, my friend Shecky used to love taking cruises. And he would get on one of those boats, one of those big boats, you know, where it was all tap dancing all the time. Hey,
right.
And we're having a show tonight, and we're having a musical tonight. And, oh, hey, why don't you try the amusement rides on the boat?
Right, on the boat.
You know, and I'm going, that's not for me. But he would do those occasionally. But then he would go on one, and I would go, I'm jealous of you. First one that he went on that I really was jealous of, he went to the Galapagos Islands.
Okay.
And they only let so many people onto the Galapagos at a time because they don't want to ruin the ecology of the Galapagos. Right. I guess in honor of Darwin, who, you know, came up with the theory of evolution there. And the other one that he did that I absolutely I said, I'm jealous. He went to Antarctica.
Oh wow!
He took a boat to Antarctica.
You'd be freezing.
Huh?
You'd be freezing cold.
Well, no, they give you stuff to wear. You know.
But you'll still be cold.
No. But here's
you would kvetch the whole time.
Here was the problem. He said to me, and then he had some pictures of himself with penguins. Lots and lots of penguins.
Okay.
Hundreds of penguins. Right.
Okay.
And I said, well, you know, I'd go just for the penguins. He says, don't go for the penguins. I said, why? He said, have you ever smelled penguin shit? And when you got thousands of them in one place,
right,
it's nothing but penguin shit. It's the most god-awful smell I've had to put up with. But when you see it in photographs, they're so cute, you know? But you don't know that there's crap coming out of their ass, you know?
Right.
So, how do penguins live with each other? I don't understand. I would not want to be a penguin.
No.
But those are a couple things I would have liked to have done, you know?
Right.
Go to Africa, go on a safari, and not to kill anything, but to see the animals.
Right.
I'd love to go to Africa. But you know, I don't know. I'm of an age. I don't know. I mean, at your age, do you think you've got the strength to trod through Africa?
No.
No. See, and you're what, 15 years, 16 years younger than I am.
Right.
You know, you just it's just as you get older, it limits the things you can do.
Right. Go see the pyramids.
A Jew in Egypt. Let me think about this for a while. You know, there are a couple of things that hold me back. Some places just because I'm an American, others because I'm a Jew.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I mean, I'm certainly. I mean, I would love to go to Palestine and places like that. I think they might be interesting. Have no desire. Have you ever had the desire? I've had no desire to ever go to Israel.
I've had the desire.
You have?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know why. I can't explain. I just would like to see it.
Okay, let's investigate this a little further.
Okay.
You know, there are nothing but Jews there.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, and you know, have you gone out? Let's just say this, how many Jewish women have you gone out with?
One.
Why? See,
why? Why don't I date Jewish women? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, but you see, the thing is, it's probably because you're not that crazy about Jewish women. So what are you going to Israel for?
Right.
Your dating prospects are cut down. Any Gentiles here? I'll be happy to date a Gentile.
Right.
And then I think about my mother, you know, and I go, do I really want to be around a bunch of Jewish mothers?
Right.
I have no desire to go to Israel. I really don't. But I do have a desire to go to Jerusalem, and I have a desire to go to Palestine.
Right.
You know, but I would not be welcome there.
No, you'd probably get killed.
Well, at my age, that you know, it's
No
just
big deal.
cutting it slightly short. You know.
Right.
And that's the other thing that predicates everything I do and everywhere I go is my age. You know.
Right.
I always feel I have to be somewhere near a hospital. You know, really. I mean, you know how I've gotten this way. I'll tell you, I've gotten much more dour about my life expectancy after having somebody who was 67 years old and my best friend die. You don't expect that.
What, did he have a heart attack?
Huh?
What, did he have a heart attack?
No. We think it had something to do with his liver, then affecting other organs and so on.
Oh, was he a drinker?
Yeah.
Heavy drinker?
You know, again, it's hard to say because I never saw him drunk. And
right.
I brought this up to him once, and he said, I wish I did. He says, I don't get drunk. He says, I'm not the type who gets particularly drunk. Maybe it's just because he was constantly doing it at a medium pace or whatever. But he said, I never get drunk. He says, I wish I did get drunk. Then I'd probably stop drinking. You know, because I'd see an effect from it. It's kind of like with me. I smoked for 20 years, and I stopped finally when I started coughing. You know, when I finally saw the effects of what I was doing. He said, but I just never got drunk. He said, and so consequently, I just never had any reason to quit. You know. And in the last months of his life, he had quit because a doctor told him, your liver has been impacted by your drinking. Stop drinking. That's the way you can stop the erosion of what's happening to your liver.
Right.
And he quit. He said, but we don't know if he did.
Right.
And that's the problem. And we think that's what killed him. I don't think we ever had a definitive answer to it. I don't know if there was an autopsy or what they found or anything like that.
Right.
You know, but
Where did he live?
Huh?
Where did he live?
Oh, in Queens.
Oh, so he was in the same area code as you are.
Yeah, he was in Queens. I used to go see him every other week.
Right.
And then COVID came along, and then we only did phone things and so on. But
apparently COVID is officially over.
Yeah, right. Watch it go on the rise now.
Right.
COVID will never be over. It's a question of if it's dangerous now.
Right.
And I think we have enough medicines and so on that we can, but they got this Paxlovid now, which if you come down with it anyway, even if you have shots or whatever, vaccinations, you can come down with it. If you come down with it, they can then give you the Paxlovid, and that really nips it in the bud. We tried it the one time we got COVID, and mine didn't ever progress much. But I took the Paxlovid. Marjorie had a pretty, I'd say it was a mild to medium case of it. And so we got the Paxlovid, and it knocked it out in her in 2 days.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, we have the way of saving lives, although people are still dying every day of it. Don't be mistaken about that.
Right. Well, there's the people that don't believe in vaccines.
Well, that and the fact that
the earth is flat.
Every year we go out and get flu shots, but people still die of the flu.
Right.
I mean, there are a lot of things out there to get us, but I guess they feel that, it's not that terrible now with COVID.
Right.
Did you come down with COVID at all? No.
No.
Lucky for you.
But I got all my shots, too.
Oh, okay. Now, at work, do they make you wear face masks still?
No.
No.
And they took down the barriers that were glass barriers that were between me and the customer.
Oh, right. So now they can breathe in your face.
If they choose to.
They should have kept those up. That's not a bad idea. Like when I went to China, for instance, a lot of people were walking around wearing masks.
Oh, yeah.
And I stopped to think about it, and during COVID, I never came down with a cold.
No, me neither.
And as long as I was wearing that mask, I wasn't coming down with a cold.
Right.
I mean, it probably did better to prevent colds than to prevent COVID. But, I mean, I just found that really we should go to that, wearing masks when we're sick or we have a cold or something like that, to protect other people.
Right, right.
But do you think...
I agree with that.
But the only lesson America learned from COVID was, I hate wearing those damn masks.
Right.
Well, those damn masks, assholes, saved your life.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't care what people say. I think it certainly helped. It didn't hurt.
I still have a mask in the car.
I got to tell you, Marjorie, every time she saw that the COVID tests were available for free,
right,
she would order some. We have like 20 of them sitting here now because they just kept piling up because we haven't had to take them.
Right.
And I'm going, what do we do with all these COVID tests? They just said COVID's over with. What do we need to do? I guess we'll sell them as objects of nostalgia.
Right.
We'll open up a nostalgia shop and have a whole COVID test area.
Right. Memorabilia.
No, but every time there was a chance to order them, she ordered them. So, anyway, anything else exciting happening up there in Massachusetts? In Worcester?
In Worcester?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Nothing going on.
All right. Do you have regrets that you moved back there? No.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes, a little bit. Now I do, because I want to get back out to L.A.
Yeah, but you want to be with your family, right?
Right.
And has it served that purpose?
Oh, yeah.
Now you're sick and tired. So. Now you realize why you're sick and tired of your family, and you want to get back out to California.
Well, I want to go back to work.
Yeah. Well, I think you should go there.
Right.
And we should do a GoFundMe for Steve Kravitz.
You should do that.
So he can go back out to Hollywood and get back in the movies.
Okay.
And I wonder if we could make you some money that way. That would be interesting. I mean, Will Durst got a stroke and raised almost $350,000.
Right.
So this isn't exactly a stroke, but living in Massachusetts is close. Anyway, good to see you again, my friend. I really appreciate that you spend this time with us because
I enjoy it.
It's a lovely thing to be able to do. Ladies and gentlemen, look straight into the camera. Don't fall asleep again. That's Steve Kravitz. Bye, Steve.
Bye, Alex.
Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Well, hello, everybody. Hello. Let me get my microphone up here and get some sound going here and say hello to all of you. It's nice to have you here. Right back where you belong. I don't know. Hold on a second. I got to do a couple other things. It's the first day of the week. So being that it's the first day of the week, I feel that I have to, do things. Wait a minute. See, I'm trying to move myself over here, see, so that I'm in the middle. That's not good. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's about as good as it's going to get, okay? Anyway, it's Monday. It's Wednesday. Wow, Wednesday already. Jeez, almost the end of the week. Just a couple more days and I don't have to do shows anymore. Anyway, want to see what happens if I move? Well, I was going to say, if I move this over too much, see, then this, see that? You see the in back of the green screen, see? And then if I do this side over here, well, this is okay. I've got to do some work on tomorrow. I'll change this around and everything. Anyway, there's just one person waiting to talk to me. Just one person. That's it. That's all we got is one person. Let me see here. What did I do? Did I do something wrong? I mean, that people suddenly don't care about me and who I am and so on. Hello there, Charlie.
Oh, hi, Alex.
Well,
where is everybody?
I don't know. I don't know. The question is why I do this every week.
Wow.
Yeah. Look, nobody there. But something, if I had nobody else and I had you, I would be satisfied. All right?
That's a nice thing to say.
I know you don't take compliments very well. The Earth's rotation, what is this now?
Really makes my day.
Really makes my day. Okay, all righty. Yes, sir. Wow. So anyway, where are we? So, look, here's Jeff and here's Alan as well. No, what I was going to say to you, Charlie, the other day on our show over at the pop-up show, I mentioned something and somebody called me on it, and I was wrong.
Yep.
And you did. I thought you would correct me.
I didn't want to, embarrass you or whatever.
Don't please embarrass me. And the mistake I made was I said that Isaac Asimov wrote 2001 when in fact it was Arthur C. Clarke.
Yep.
Another great futurist.
Asimov wrote 529 books, and you picked one that he didn't write.
I picked the one he didn't write, exactly. But I said, well, why, when some of you called me on it, wrote me on it, and I thought, why didn't Charlie mention that to me? You didn't want to embarrass me. Let that be a lesson to you, Alan. Let that be a lesson to you.
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of Arthur C. Clarke books too here. So
I imagine. Well, if he wrote 970 of them, I'd think you had like maybe 10 of them, maybe?
Yeah, I got more than 10.
Really? Ooh. Anyone a favorite in particular?
Well, for Asimov, the Foundation trilogy or series is more than a trilogy now.
Yeah.
My favorite. So
they're doing that, on
the Apple Plus. Yeah, they had a series they did on that.
Yeah,
so.
And I tried to watch it and I couldn't get into it. But
I don't have Apple Plus, so I haven't seen it.
Just because they were good books doesn't mean that somebody's going to make a good TV show out of it. you know.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so how was your weekend, Alan?
Uneventful.
Uneventful?
I didn't do much of anything. Just worked around the house and paperwork and.
Yeah. What
Easy.
kind of paperwork do you do? You don't work anymore, so what kind of paperwork would you
I
do?
own rental income property, and so I gotta make sure that the what do you call it, property management companies are doing a good job, and that I still have money and I still have property, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Make doctor's appointments, that the usual thing at our age.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like every week you got to make a new doctor's appointment.
Well, how many pieces of property do you own?
So I got a condo,
A
an
bunch.
apartment building in Tucson, and the big apartment buildings in Portland, Oregon.
You own an apartment building?
Yeah.
Couple of them?
Well, the one in Tucson is like only 10 units. It's all seniors. I inherited that from my uncle like 25 years ago, and I keep the rent. I went out there to look at it. It looked like it was doing good. I had a meeting with all the people who live there. They were all nervous the rent was going to go up, and I told them, nope, you guys keep the property up. The rent will stay the same.
Wow. You're nice. That's nice of you.
I'm a nice guy. Once
Do you
in a
make a
while.
profit off of it?
A little bit, enough to cover the bills.
Oh.
Now the property up north in Portland, yeah, I make a living off of that.
Oh, okay.
Trouble is, because COVID came along, I don't travel anymore. I'm kind of like you, Alex. I mean, I got a bunch of money in the bank to travel with, but I haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Tonight you said something to Stephen Kravitz about these that we all have 30 of or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know
what?
Marjorie kept ordering them every time they offer some free ones?
I did too.
And we have, I think I counted them, something like 16 of them.
So you know what they're good for? If you get a sniffle or a cough or a sore throat, Alex, you and I are a lot alike in this department. You take one and you go, oh, at least I don't have COVID, and then you relax.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll remember that. Because I told Marjorie, I said, to begin with, they all have expiration dates on them.
Yeah, except for the FDA has extended them another 6 months. You have to go online and look. So.
Yeah. Well, we're getting our next shot.
I got mine on Monday. No big deal.
Number 6. Number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6. Yeah, because we went a couple of months ago, and they said, well, it's not time yet. We haven't. They're not ready. They're not doing it yet. So we decided we'd do it.
Follow the science. Follow the data.
Yep.
I wait for the FDA and the CDC to say, go do it.
Getting our next shot. I got mine on Monday.
Oh, you're pulling a Jeff on us, huh? Huh, Brian?
I didn't know it logged on so fast. Trying to eat and do everything and listen and tired.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I heard.
I have to write the expiration date on all those tests every day.
What do you do?
I write the expiration date on those tests every day that you guys suck up for no apparent reason.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, all I
You
know
guys are bad. You think you guys are bad? We have pallets full of them in the warehouse.
Of those kind like he had there?
Pallets. I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you tomorrow. Pallets.
Like these?
Pallets.
Really?
We have at least 6 pallets that I know of that we're just like, what are we gonna do with?
And what was it?
Over to Alex. He needs some more.
No, yeah, I need
right.
more. Yeah, right. I want to get up in the morning and. Now here's the thing I didn't understand. I couldn't get those things to work at all.
No.
I kept shoving them up my butt, and I never once could get them to work.
You're supposed to shove them in your urethra.
Good,
4 inches.
You guys talking about something different now?
Go on with your eating there, Brian. So, hello, Kevin.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Happy, what is this, Wednesday? Happy Wednesday to you.
Yeah, same to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm celebrating my 19th year at my company.
Really?
Oh, wow.
They haven't gotten wise to you yet, huh?
I don't think they know what I do anymore.
I don't think you know what you do anymore.
They invited me to a bunch of meetings, and I'm like, okay.
Okay, I'll go to the
He
meeting.
just drives back and forth to Lodi, that's all.
So that company's been in business that long?
Been in business like 25. Oh yeah, ours has been 25 years.
Really?
Yeah, 1996.
Because I thought it was kind of a new company, you know.
No, we were doing BioThreat before. We got big when we did the Northrop Grumman. We worked with them for the after 2000 after 9/11 when the three congressmen had the letters of anthrax in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
We were testing for that already.
Okay.
On a small scale, and so then they were looking for somebody to help test for anthrax in the post office. So that's what we did. We've been doing that since 9/11.
Oh, good. Well,
yeah, it used to be like our bread and butter. The only thing we did like made the company survive. Now it's sort of a distraction, but it's okay.
Yeah, but so you've been there what, 19 years? You say?
19 years, yeah.
Wow.
At 20 years, you get a gold watch.
Yeah. I want to retire at 20 years.
Well, I hear, however, his company is going to be bought up by Discovery.
Fox News is going to buy it.
Yeah.
Test Max.
Elon Musk is going to buy it.
Yeah, right. Anyway, and I hear Alan has a new job. Huh?
I do.
You don't know about your new job?
No, tell me about it.
I was tuning in the other night to Jack's show, mainly because I had to see if he was still doing it. And he said that you're producing something for him.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to explain to me what he wants done. I wanted your okay. I don't even know why I'd do it, because I'm not trained for it. I don't know really what he wants done. But if I can help him, I'll help him. So.
Oh yeah, well that certainly sounds like you're going to be a good producer.
It's okay with you?
Listen, I like you. You know, you're a good guy. Okay, I kid you a lot, but you're a good guy. But I would never hire you as my producer. Not in a million years, for crying out loud.
I wouldn't hire me as a producer either. I'm too lazy. You'd end up being in the unemployment line forever.
Yeah, but he says every Monday he's going to have a feature that you're producing. You have to go get him the guests.
Yeah, that's going to be the fun part, because I have no idea how to do it. But he says he's going to teach me. So.
Oh, he's going to teach you.
The other thing is, how do you get guests for like somebody that's unknown? That's my dilemma. I mean, if it was getting guests for Alex Bennett, everybody knows Alex Bennett on both coasts. Nobody knows Jack unless it was in the Dallas area, in the market he was in. It seems crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, it might be easier, to get guests for me, but only if I sent you to people who already knew who I was. Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I'm just lazy. I mean, I could get a lot of people on this show.
I'm sure you can.
But I just don't I'm too lazy to do it, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, look who's here. Let me see here.
Make sure.
Yeah, I should make sure.
I want to see.
Be free.
Black porn.
Be free.
Oh no, he was on the chat. B was on the chat.
Oh, okay. All right. Bree, are you there?
Don't get mad at me if it's some big Dick Johnson guy.
There he is. There he is.
Whenever someone logs in, you got to give them a couple of minutes. You know.
Yeah.
But sometimes we do, and some big things pop up.
So you have a green screen.
It takes a few minutes for things to get rolling.
It does take a while. You don't get right on.
No.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah. Do you have a green screen?
I do.
No, he's in.
I mean, it's just the virtual background. But yes, I do own a green screen, but no, I am not currently using it.
Really, because for this, I think that the stuff that they do for Zoom is kind of cheesy. It doesn't exactly work, But that looks like you've got a green screen. It doesn't have any of that fringing and stuff like that.
For some reason, his and yours look really good. Your green screens look really good. I don't know why.
Yours does too, Brian.
Not a green screen.
Oh, I always thought it was.
It's the green room.
No, I mean
because you guys are hair challenged. So see how the dome looks like perfect. It's like great.
Yeah. But keep it on one background. Keep it on one background and leave it there. Or is it rotating?
No, I can.
Yeah, just leave it on one because it can.
A heck of a time logging in. All my gadgets need to be updated, or it doesn't have something, or you got to email a password. Well,
you know what happened? They got Facebook. I put my shows up on Facebook, right on my Facebook page. Well, Facebook has decided that no longer are they going to have the old system. They've started a whole new system where we go over to, there's no more Facebook Studio. It's Meta now. And I can't figure out how to post shows. So there may not be any shows posted tonight on my Facebook page. Kind of. I have no idea. Anyway, so I just thought I would mention that quickly.
There's a Facebook settlement. Anybody that's belonged on Facebook or still on Facebook, like in the past 10 years, some lady sued them in 2018 for the Cambridge Analytical thing, and they settled, and now they're looking for people that have Facebook accounts, and you sign up, fill in your name and address, and when they figure out how many people get involved in this class action lawsuit, they'll probably send you a check for $1.50.
Yeah, that's about it.
You have to be in the United States. You can't be outside.
Right.
And you probably get $1 at the end. The lawyers will get 20 million.
I've been in a couple of those situations, and I just go, ain't worth my time to fill out all this stuff, and
You did this. I did it the other day online. Took 2 minutes.
That's a postcard. Yeah.
Let us know what you get. I will guess $3.75. That's going to be my. Anybody else want to?
I have several addresses. You can use one of my addresses in the United States. That way you can live comfortably.
I'm of the opinion that Facebook and all these places should have been paying people from the get-go. I mean, it's zero cost content for them, And
but they could argue here. They could argue back to you that you're getting it for free. Yep. Like I could complain about YouTube. I mean, I have a myriad of complaints against them. But the one complaint I can't have is there's no other place I can post programs of the length that I have programs that doesn't cost me a penny to do it. So, I mean, I have Vimeo, but that would cost me, if I wanted it so I could do this live and everything, cost me $75 a month. I'd have to pay a penny for this. So I can't exactly complain.
Well, I agree with you on YouTube, but Facebook is a different matter. I think what really ideally should be, we should have nonprofit social media. But we don't. And I think that's one of the problems. And we should have regulations.
Well, I mean, this program is nonprofit social media,
but YouTube isn't.
No, I don't know if we should. Look, these people certainly deserve to have a certain kind of income. I mean, would you expect them to do Facebook for free? I mean, people complain about the fact that they get data from you. Well, that's the price you're paying for using their service.
Data mining, but they get all these companies that advertise and pay for advertisement, and it comes across your news feed. You see it. Hopefully click on it and buy something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that data mining, to be honest with you. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I'd rather they didn't. But when they talk about TikTok, all these people making a big deal out of TikTok, and the only reason they're making a big deal out of it is because it's so popular. So He disappeared into those radios. It's weird. Oh, here he
I'm
comes.
trying to find.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my phone. I don't know where it's at. It's playing the show.
Well,
and it's like this little thing in the background.
Could this be it?
Here.
No. Wait a minute. Hold on a
Give me
second.
that back.
Anyway, no, but what I'm saying is that they make a big deal out of TikTok, and they're data mining, and they're owned by the Chinese government. Well, they're not owned by the Chinese government. I think they're owned by a private organization, but in China they have to live by China's rules, okay? And they probably data mine everybody that's watching TikTok over there. And by the way, it isn't the same over there as it is here. You don't have a bunch of women doing a twerk job on the screen, and things like that. So, but I mean, they said, and they're mining data. Yeah. Well, so's YouTube, and so's Vimeo, and so's everybody.
YouTube thinks I'm a Republican.
Do they?
All the stuff they put up, well, because I supposedly don't let them follow me around YouTube so they know what I'm watching. So they somehow think I'm a Republican. So every newscast that comes up that isn't something I search for, it's Fox News and Newsmax, and
yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, here's what, in case people wonder what data mining is. Do you ever wonder why you look up something, and then all of a sudden, not on the thing you looked it up on, like Google, but say on just another program altogether, like, I don't know, you're looking at the Drudge Report, and all of a sudden an ad comes up on the Drudge Report for that thing you were looking up on Google. Well, that's because of data mining. That's data mining. And do you find, are you people terribly worried about that? I know Bree probably is, but...
No, not terribly worried, but I just think that they should have let people know more, and they are now. But at first they didn't, and they do a lot of experiments, and they don't tell people, and they change your algorithms for the types of information you get. And they do things to try to get you to spend more time on it.
Oh yeah. But I'll tell you, they have a lesson to learn from TikTok. I mean, no other social media thing is as addictive as TikTok, because you start swiping those pictures, and maybe this one isn't good, but you're looking what the next one's going to be, and then the next one. There's a twerking girl. There are a bunch of cats all huddled together sleeping, on and on and on. And I'm trying to figure out in all of that where the the Chinese propaganda is. I mean, have any of you using TikTok ever seen propaganda on TikTok? Yes, Brian.
No, but I think the complaint is that they're dumbing down our society in the U.S., where in China, they show all these kids doing all these educational experiments and all these type of things. It's definitely geared the different way.
Well, because Americans are stupider. Okay, let's be honest about it.
Stupider. They're more stupider.
More stupidiness than the other people are stupidinist. No, but you know what I'm talking about. I mean, Americans are, in general, I think, quite stupid.
They elected Donald Trump.
They elected Donald Trump, and you're right. I mean, I understand that in China, TikTok, you wouldn't notice. It's not the same thing. Okay.
And they wouldn't have elected Donald Trump in China either.
Well, but they've got that guy Xi,
as George Carlin said, he loved individuals, but he hated groups of people.
Well, that was that he got that from somewhere, because my friend Jack Garfine, God bless him, he's gone, said to me that the trouble with he doesn't like the human race, but he does like individuals. That the human race is terrible. It's horrible. Everything it does has been horrible throughout history. All right. From the Inquisition on down, right? And yet, when it comes to individuals, there are individuals who are terrific. He talked about it in reference to me. He was in concentration camps, as you know. And he told me about this story about the time he was in Auschwitz, and they put him on this forced march, and he was having a hard time standing up and continuing going. And this guard came over to him and said, "Grab my arm." And he helped him and saved his life by doing that, by helping him walk and continue. Because if you fell, they shot you. That was it. And he said that was a perfect example of, where the human race is terrible. They were Nazis, right? This was a concentration camp. How do you do this to human beings? But that one individual was good. He said individuals are good. It's the group, it's the totality of society that's the problem. And I kind of agree with that.
That's kind of true.
So happy VSAC Day.
What?
Today, that's why I'm here. I'm off today because it's VSAC Day.
Is that a little holiday there in that part of the world?
I think it's celebrated by a couple billion people. So.
Oh, wait a minute. What does it mean?
Oh.
No idea. I knew that you're supposed to go, or they told us in Singapore, don't go to pet stores and buy pets to free them.
Yes.
So, because we had gone and we had turtles and we freed them on that day.
Really?
They told us you're not supposed to do that, but
And
as
all
far as I
that
know,
wasted turtle soup.
You're supposed to go to the grocery store and free the lobster.
Well, I'm celebrating tomorrow because it's Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I had to explain it to Marjorie. She said, "How's it, Star Wars Day?" And I say, "May the 4th be with you." So that's that's tomorrow.
Do you have to, Bree, do you have to get on a VPN to get on the show?
No.
They don't censor you there.
No.
No, that's not a country that censors, is it?
Not really.
Yeah. You're where? Tell them, everybody, where you are again.
Well, today I'm in Malaysia.
Today you're in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Why are you in Malaysia as opposed to, where were you before? Cambodia? No.
No. I'm in KL. But it's just that the last few months and the next few months, I don't know, I'll be everywhere around the world. So
why is that? Are you hitting New York at all?
No, unfortunately not.
No, fortunately for me, you aren't. Yeah.
Right now I'm London to Pittsburgh. But it could change. I might be going Frankfurt, New York.
Wait, explain.
London to Pittsburgh?
I'm beginning to think you're a spy. No, because as long as we've known you, you've been everywhere in the world. You were in Dubai, and you were in Malaysia, and you were even here for a while in the United States. No, I just think I question what you do for a living. You're still teaching, I assume.
Yeah. Nah, sometimes. Yeah. Mainly I just get invited to give talks places. That's why I go to places. If they're paying, I'm going.
Oh, really?
So,
okay. Good. What are the talks on?
They vary for a lot of different subjects. So whatever they say the topic is, and they think I can speak
I'm beginning
to
to think you've conned a bunch of people into giving you money.
You're thinking a lot of things, Alex. I don't know.
And Charlie agrees with all that I'm saying, by the way.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see?
No, I did know a guy that was like that. He was. I worked with him in New York, and last I heard, he's like doing some like life coach kind of stuff, and he has a doctorate from, some quasi formal institute kind of a thing. So yeah, there are people out there doing that.
So do you keep moving? I mean, or did you keep your place? You keeping your place in what, Malaysia?
No, I don't have a place. I just, my whole goal is to.
I mean, where are you living now? Just in a room full of
a whole apartment and everything.
It looks like it looks like he's living in a warehouse full of radios.
Yeah. old radios, by the way, which I loved and I had to get rid of back in the States.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a place to put them anymore. I want to get my whole life to under 10 pieces of luggage. So large luggages, but 10 pieces. That's my goal right now. And
anything in the luggage or just the luggage itself?
Yes. Life possessions. I want them to fit in 10 pieces of luggage.
Yeah, because, you know, as life goes on, I got to tell you, you get more and more junk. I mean, I could never move out of this apartment now. I could never move out of here. Got too much junk.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm a big fan of minimalism now, and I've been watching this one guy on YouTube, and I just agree with it more and more. And when I donate things, I feel good. And when I unclutter a corner, I feel good. So I'm kind of trying to do more and more of that.
I wish I could show you just the clutter in this room. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, it's not like I'm a hoarder or anything, you know. But, I mean, it's a lot of stuff. Plus, we got a 2,500 square foot apartment here, and all the closets are completely full.
I know the feeling.
Same thing with you?
Yeah, look, this is my office.
Well, I feel you're like
piled up all over the place.
You're a giant snowball as you're going through life, rolling down a hill, you know, and as you do it, you get larger and larger and larger and larger. Yep. And that's the way I feel about it.
And then when you croak, somebody dumps one of those giant dumpsters in your front yard, and everything goes into it.
Well, Shecky had, I'd say maybe if I had to take a guess, somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 10,000 DVDs.
Holy shit.
Wow.
And I said to him, what are you going to do with all these DVDs? I said, why are you collecting them now? I said, I'm putting all mine on computers, you know. And he said, listen, when I die, they're just going to roll the dumpster up to the house, and they're going to dump all those in the dumpster. And I tried to think when his friend who called me, who's the trustee, she said, if you want any of his stuff, let me know, and we'll see how we can accommodate you. And I thought about, what do I want of Shecky's? And there was really nothing that I wanted of Shecky's.
He had really nice artwork in his house.
You don't need his Emmy.
Yeah, but I don't even want that. You know, it's not in my wheelhouse, okay? A lot of very nice artwork, comic book artwork, but I don't know from that, you know. Give it to Tony, you know, somebody like that, because I couldn't possibly appreciate it. And I tried to think about it, and I went, well, maybe there's some DVDs I want. And I went, no, I don't want DVDs either. Anything I want, I can get from somewhere, you know. Well, yeah.
You know, Alex, for me, one of the things was when my dad passed, he had kept so much stuff, and in his final years, I'd be like, Dad, why do you have all this wood in the garage? Like, he's like, we might need that piece of wood to do something or something. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you can't even operate. You can't operate the machines anymore, you know. And it just went on and on. The list went on and on. Why are you keeping that? Why are you keeping that? And he had a reason all the time. But then when he passed, it was up to us to have to deal with all that. And I just don't want to. I just want to live lighter, you know.
Yeah, well, I don't. That makes a lot of sense. Yes, Jeff.
When in doubt, throw it out.
When in doubt, throw it out.
I got no doubts. I need everything I got here.
Really?
Absolutely.
Yeah, my friend from LA just came up, and we have cars in common. So I told him to go into my shed and take whatever he wants, because I know I don't need it.
So he took the.
I bought the stuff for my car, my past cars. I'm not going to use it on this car. I took out everything I had is in the garage. I said anything in the shed take. So he took a bunch of stuff. So I got to keep doing that.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, like, how about Kevin? How you look like you have a lot of clutter there.
Sure do. I'm not saying a word.
I mean, it looks like if you died, they'd have to pull the dumpster up to the house, and you know, what's he going? He's going to go get some.
He's going to clean up.
Spent all day doing paperwork.
Wait a minute. What are those papers?
That's all stuff going to the shredder, and that's just a couple of hours worth.
Yeah.
I've got about 5 or 6 more boxes to fill.
Just all the dirt on Donald Trump. Don't lie to us.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I don't even want to talk about it. I told my wife we were in full gridlock.
Really?
You know, and I do the same thing what Breeze said his dad does. Oh, no, I'm not going to throw that away. I got chunks of wood around here that I can use, but I do use them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because I'll come up with something and I'll go, oh, shoot, I got a piece of wood out there. I'm going to go pull it out, and I use it. But,
if you can operate the machine, okay.
Yeah, the machine or whatever. If I'm building something and I need a chunk of wood, I go out there and I cut it, and I don't have to go to the store and buy it. But, you know, stuff builds up. And I know I'm never going to use it all.
Well, Jeff, you live in a
like everything else. I got screws coming out of my ears. I got nuts coming out of my ears. But you know what? When I'm building something with that, never have the right one, I'm still going down to Ace to buy more fucking screws.
I have a drawer of bagged stuff, and I have a drawer of loose stuff. And I always go the loose stuff first. I can't find it. Look at the bag stuff. I can't find it. Then I go buy another bag, and then I add it with the bag stuff on my leftovers.
You know what I have in this closet here are several bags of nothing but wires. And they're not even like rolled up together. They're all in there like this big rat's nest, you know?
I got bottom drawer right here full of them.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I got a big
Cat 5. I got miles of Cat 5 cable that I'll probably never use.
Yep. You want some more? I got more of it. I got a spool of 1,000 feet of, it's actually Cat 6 cable.
And I got, containers full of, power supplies.
Yeah.
Power supplies.
How about old remote controls?
I donated all that stuff.
Old remote controls you're never going to use because they don't go with anything you own.
Right.
I don't know how people live in an apartment. We have so much stuff.
Speaker wire. Who uses speaker wire anymore?
When I moved around.
No, I got rid of my last bunch of speaker wire about a year ago. I put in a sound bar with a sub with the back speakers are wireless, okay, except for a short amount of wire going to them from the thing that it transmits to. But I got rid of all that. But I used to have wires everywhere.
Oh, when they were building this house, I used to sneak in here. When they were building the house 23 years ago, and I sneak into the place on the weekends, and I ran wires in the walls and put little junction boxes and the whole. I wasn't supposed to be here doing that, but I did it. And I said, "Oh boy, I'm gonna have speakers over here, and I'll just plug it into the wall, and I can put all this." You can't use. You don't use it anymore.
They're all Wi-Fi or
wireless. Yeah, you don't need them anymore. So I got these nice little junctions with speakers on the walls, and they're never using them.
It's really it's amazing. It's amazing.
There's some things that I have that are smaller and kind of getting outdated, but I keep them because I think they might be valuable. For example, I have over here, I can pull it out. I have a Blueberry clamshell iBook, one of the first iBooks, and it still operates and functions. And I asked some friends of mine, like, what am I going to do with that? And he said, keep it for another 20 years, and that'll be your retirement funds.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. I'd like to think that.
Well, I don't know. I saw an early Mac go for like $365,000.
Oh yeah, if you get like the Mac 1 that they made out of wood. I mean, yeah, sure. I saw that one of those went for like $400,000. But how many of those are there in the world? But your clamshell, on the other hand,
still working.
It may still work, but how rare is it, and how useful is it?
20 years from now, I'm hoping maybe 10 grand.
Suppose you
a friend of mine died. Oh, sorry, a friend of mine died and left a Mac Lisa that actually worked.
Wow.
And I sold it on eBay for $5,000.
They're beautiful.
Well, you see, I mean, a couple of things are worth money, but most of the stuff you keep,
But you never know. That's the thing.
Because the trouble is, with computers especially, try and find an operating system that works on them now.
Yeah.
Well, guess the hard drive on this baby. Guess what the hard drive total was?
I would say it was 20 gigabytes. 20 megabytes. 3 megabytes?
Wow.
3 gigs.
3 gigs. The
Yeah.
first one
And
I ever
nowadays-
bought, which was a PC, an IBM PC, I actually it came with the floppy disks, right? The big 5.5-inch floppy disks.
I remember
But then my business manager and I decided, let's upgrade these things, and we installed for about $400 a piece a hard disk drive,
Ooh.
right? That had 20 megabytes.
Wow.
And nowadays, you know, we get $512.
Yeah, right.
And just think if we took all this crap out of our homes and dumped it all at one time. It's all plastic, unbiodegradable crap.
Yeah.
You could probably
on the other hand,
turn it into a McLaren.
I got to say that I threw away one of my old Macs because it was really old. But the Mac that I have that is still considered one of the best was the Mac Pro from years ago, and that thing still works, and still has a fairly recent operating system in it, and there's not an inch of plastic in that thing. It's all metal, you know.
Oh, it's even worse.
And
It's even worse.
What, that it's all metal?
Yeah.
Why?
What do you do? What are they gonna do with it? I'm not gonna recycle
Well, if
it.
I throw it in the ocean, it's certainly not going to pollute it.
What about the turtles?
They'll have
Give them a new home.
They'll have a place to sleep.
Hey, hey.
Good thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. You know, I really should. I keep saying I'm going to go into this closet. I'm going to start cleaning it out. I'm going to take the 4 bags of wires and just throw them away. I don't know
Open
that
your
I will.
window and drop them.
And if I need one of those wires, there's always
Buy it.
Amazon. Okay.
And Alex, when you do that, get Marjorie to film you and then put hashtag minimalism and you'll get 100,000 views.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
And,
Or
and
drop 'em
hashtag
out the
Marie
window.
Kondo.
And what?
You live 8 stories
Drop 'em
up,
out the
you drop
window.
them out the window. Somebody
And
will
then you get a
collect
million
them.
hits.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing. I got to start leaving this stuff out for the guys here to take away. And you know, if it's too much of it, I mean, I probably should just hire somebody to, you know, to
bit by bit.
Yeah, but
But what-
huh?
When you have it done,
Wait.
be out of the house. Just tell them, take all this stuff out of here and walk away.
Here are all my
have
bags.
lunch or something and come back. Because if not, you're going to see them grabbing stuff and say, oh, no, wait, I need that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I need this one maybe.
Jeff had his hand up.
You have to have an
So
intervention.
my wife's mother just died recently, and so there's 3 sisters all together. So they have been breaking up. Like, what are they going to do? Because nobody wants the house, so they want to sell the house. And meanwhile, they have all of these things that her mother collected for like 50, 100 years or whatever, because she collected old stuff. Some of the things were built in the 1700s and the 1800s, antique stuff. I look at it, it's like junk.
You don't
I
know.
would
You
throw it
don't. You
away.
don't know what's junk, and you don't know what's valuable.
So
Antique
her one
Roadshow.
sister would get on the internet, and he would put everything on the internet and say, "This is available. It's worth $75 or whatever." And she would bring in money every day.
But
and give
Bree,
Bam-
but Bree said Antiques Roadshow, and I'm thinking, how about Pawn Stars?
Yeah.
You go down to that place in Las Vegas, and then you walk in with this thing you think is absolutely valuable, and they say, "This is so non-valuable, we won't even take it. You know, we won't even buy it from you."
Yeah.
So,
And I don't know, selling online for me, it's not, I don't know.
you got to ship
has to
this
be
stuff to people. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
used to do it a lot with books and stuff, but now
Maybe-
I read a story
maybe
about
if-
some guy who sold a printer online, and he had all kinds of trouble. It ended up costing him a lot more because the person complained, and they had a lawsuit, and it was
Maybe
like,
if I was 40 years old again I would be able to start shipping this stuff out to people. But then again, if I were 40 years old again, I wouldn't have all that stuff. Okay? I remember when I first went to work in Houston, Texas. I went from Sacramento, California to Houston, Texas. Then I packed everything I owned, and it all fit in a car.
Yeah.
In the trunk, the back seat, that was it. Had it
But you
all.
were only 7.
What?
I said, but you were only 7.
No, I was actually.
But remember those days? Didn't you feel better?
What? When I only had that much?
Yeah.
Well, my ability to pick up and move was a lot easier. Yeah. Absolutely. But when I moved back to New York, I had to put a lot of stuff in storage, which is another racket. And I love Damien, and he's done a solid for me by moving my stuff to his place.
And it's still there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But
Alex, what are you doing?
Even at that, the price on the storage keeps going up. I went with him because I brought it down to about $79 a month per unit, and I had 2 units, and now it's up to $115. But the other one was getting up towards $400. Okay, so I just when I came out to here from California, I put all that stuff in storage. And really what I started to do was I brought some stuff. I brought some rugs, which I still have here, and had a bunch of other stuff shipped, but not much. And I've just started building up all over again, just more.
Well, Damien's playing the long game because.
Well, storage units are.
He's going to own that stuff.
He's going to own it someday. I mean, I figure he owns it now. But I mean, what do? You just
you go and you go through it.
Yeah.
Before you can't.
Do you know if there's anything really valuable to you that you'd like to have in New York?
There's still some tapes of mine, videotapes this time. I have most of the audio tapes, but I need the videotapes. And valuable. Not a lot,
I was just wondering if you knew where stuff was. If it was a box or two, I could go up there.
Well, I mean, Damien did me a real solid, and he went into the old storage place, and I told him what he could throw out and not throw out. He actually moved all that stuff over to his storage units, But the storage business is a racket. I mean, I think even Damien would agree with that. That people go and they say, well, I'm going to put this in storage while I'm moving out to New York, okay? Mm-hmm. And then you're never, ever going to move that stuff out. 10 years later, you still don't have it, So
yeah, you got to have a plan.
You got to have a plan.
But here's the thing, Alex. I had similar to what you're talking about. I had a bunch of cassettes and stuff. And I was fortunate one time when I was back, a friend of mine from college said, hey, the work I do, I sit around, I could digitize those for you if you give me a hard drive. So I gave him a 1 terabyte hard drive. He digitized all my cassettes.
Yeah, but you don't have as many cassettes as I have.
At one point, I think we could have been close.
I doubt it.
I was known for my mixtapes.
Forget
I had like a mini business.
I did a radio show every day, which took up 3 tapes. Okay.
I did the same.
So that was at least 1,000 a year for a period of maybe 15 years, 20 years.
Well, you scoped them. You didn't do the whole skim, did you?
They were scoped, but they still took about 3 tapes per show.
Yeah.
And then
but they could be bad by now if you don't have them in a climate controlled environment.
They were in a climate controlled.
Pay someone, just get the boxes and tell the company.
I have all the audio tapes here, most of the audio tapes. I think there's still a few left out in California. And then I want my videotapes.
Take them to a video store and tell them how much to convert all these to digital. Why are you paying to store them when you're never going to see them? Unless you want to see them now.
Because I'm working as hard as I can to be able to be the subject of an episode of Hoarders. Okay? I mean, why don't you throw it away, Charlie? Well, Charlie loves his stuff, right?
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my life.
Just those books over there. What are they?
No. So these are all DVDs and VHS tapes and some LPs. Yeah. My books are in the living room. I have 13 bookcases of books out in the living room.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
A tiny fraction.
How many?
Of what I have.
How many did you just
13.
say?
Lucky 13.
Wow.
You guys, I thought I was bad. You guys are really bad.
I used to joke with boarders that my direct deposit should just go directly to that store, because that's all I did for many, many years was buy books and books and books. I donated to a small library in Ohio that now has a better section in the area, the topic area that I donated, than most colleges or universities.
What do you got there, Charlie?
This is a Charlie Brown's book.
I've got that.
That I bought. It's 40 cents. That's how long ago I bought this. I bought this like in the 50s.
Yeah, I've got that exact same book.
That was brand new.
I've got all the peanuts.
Yeah.
But the covers are falling off.
Peanuts. I've got BC. I've got the Wizard of Id. Yeah.
See, my problem is I have some. My problem is I have some rare Cadillac parts that I told her that I spent like $100 for, and I spent like $500, and she's gonna give them away for like 100 or 50, and all my friends are gonna get great deals. That's my problem.
Well, I mean, I just I just don't know what's going to happen to all this stuff when I go, and that could be in a few years or maybe within 10 years, but.
Well, Phil, Alan, and I can do, and Kevin, we can do a fun guys road trip and get a trailer and put all your crap in there and bring it to New York.
Bring it to New York?
I got a trailer.
Yeah. Well, no, I just don't need more stuff here. Okay.
You'd have to build another closet in the house.
Here's who made out like a bandit. It's Marjorie.
Jeff can hold it for you.
It was Marjorie when we got this apartment. She had a storage locker over in New Jersey. All of a sudden, her storage locker shows up in our living room and in our dining room and everywhere. And she literally had all this stuff she had been saving and bought over the years that she never used, that now became our apartment. Okay? Meanwhile, I brought all my stuff over in a shoebox. So, I mean, she finally was able to get out of her storage, and I'm happy for her. But now she's got this as storage, but we pay such low rent for this place because of our decision by a judge that we could keep this place till the day both of us die and never even worry about having to pay the rent on it. Come on, $500 a month? What's that?
You pay more in storage for the stuff in there.
Yes, right. So anyway, but it's still, we all collect this crap.
I still have my high school textbooks.
Why?
Oh shit! Yeah, why?
What do you mean? I might have to go look something up.
Or go back to high school.
I have them from German, my German class only.
Charlie, your friends are much more stupid than you are, so you don't have to look anything up for us. That's for sure.
You see, you got to remember that no matter
whatever you tell us, we'll believe it.
Exactly.
We could put him down for keeping his school books. We could put him down for any number of things. He probably has some stuff there that we go, "Why are you holding on to this?" But the fact of the matter is that this is the only guy that really is a rocket scientist that is here. So. By the way, what is that thing all the way in the back of the room that looks like some kind of implement?
That's my exercise bike, my stationary bike. I ride every day.
Do you use
$79 at Sears?
Yeah, I hang clothes on it half the time, but I mean I ride it every day.
Well, I owned a stationary bike. It wasn't meant to be.
Boom.
Thank you very much. Been doing that one for the last 50 years. So.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. Somebody, they're doing this thing for Shecky called Sheckfest, which is going to be kind of, it's the memorial for Shecky.
Yeah.
And it's being done at the Film Forum here in New York, 10 o'clock in the morning. I haven't been up that early since, well, anyway.
No kidding. What are they, nuts?
So I'm
That's
supposed
so
to I'm
early in the
supposed to
morning.
speak at it. So this woman writes me and she says, "And we put you down here. You do Gabnet, right? And you do the Ramble, and you've been Shecky's friend for 30 years." And I said, "Wrong on 2 counts. Number one, please list me as a broadcaster.
Yeah.
And secondly, I've known him for 45 years."
Yeah.
And, and I even had to gulp when I said that, but she had it wrong. She had it wrong by 1/3. So,
Yeah.
Is Dave going to be there?
I don't think so. I doubt it,
Mike Chisholm will.
Mike Chisholm's taking a flight down here. Yeah. Going to be here. So, but
Tony will probably be there. He's got to bring the spam sandwiches.
Who?
Tony Magno.
No, Tony's not. I don't think Tony's going.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Wow.
Well, it's a limited amount of people that can fit in that theater. They're tiny theaters. And so I think it was limited to 250 people. So we all had to raise our hand really fast, And the only reason I'm doing it, I just want to say something. I just want to be there,
They're going to record it?
I don't think so. I hope they do. That would be very nice.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because it'd be nice if we could put it up on YouTube and really honor his life that way.
Yeah.
Because when I did that show over at The Answer here in New York the other day, I talked about Shecky, and one of the things I said about him is, this is a guy who made you laugh on David Letterman continually for the better part of 30 years, was it? Between the late
Was he
show.
there during Coffee Cup Theater?
Coffee Cup Theater?
When Letterman on Saturdays?
There wasn't a Letterman on Saturdays.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I seem to recall when I first watched him, he was on during the daytime on the weekend.
That was it. No, he was on during the daytime for about, I don't know, maybe 12 weeks, something like that on NBC. That was the morning show. Yeah.
I must be thinking of someone else.
You must be thinking of someone else. But no, all those little clips that he ran, the black and white film clips of like the monkey washing the cat and things like that. And, and between that and his Elvis, made a lot of people laugh over the years. And they didn't even know who he was, really.
You can see a lot of that on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I'm constantly running into it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this might be wrong. ChatGPT says Coffee Cup Theater was in the early 1980s as part of his show, but I don't know.
I don't think he ever did it on late night. It's never shown up on YouTube. Let me put it that way. Okay. So I'm not familiar with Coffee Cup Theater.
And when I think of David Letterman, that's what I think of. So
Yeah.
I must be thinking wrong.
Yeah. Well, anyway, our music is playing. I have to tell you that. I just found out the music that's playing, for some reason, there's this whole group of songs that you can't hear. If I run other stuff, well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me stop that just a second and play something. Tell me if you can hear this.
Now in its 9th year, this is Gabnet.
See?
Great American
But you
Way
can't,
back, though.
but well, I know. But you can hear that, but you can't hear the music, so.
That sucks because Jack Bishop can play the music at the end of his show.
Yeah, well, anyway.
It's the only thing reliable that works on it.
Listen, pal. Just hurry up. You got work to do booking guests for that show of his.
Yeah, producer.
Good luck with that.
Right?
Here's our first one, a Carpet King from Walnut Creek, California.
And right. And it'd be followed by a photographer the following week, And anyway, that's it. Hey, listen, thank you, Charlie. Always good to have you here. Always good to have Jeff here. Alan, great have you produce my show too. What the hell? Why not? I got no life. Kevin, thank you. Thank you to Brian Neary and Bree from wherever he is in the world spying on America. Thank you. Give us a call more often. You're enjoyable. You always have been. Anyway, everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? There they go, folks. That's our citizen panel for tonight. Whoa! And Jack is next with the intersection. He'll be taking your calls at Gabnet Live on Skype. In the meantime, I'll see you again tomorrow. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Good night, everybody. Have a nice night.